Hey YouTube, it's Mason Sushi here. Decided to do a review of multiplayer on Rock Band 3. I got it for the 360 here when it came out. It was my wife's birthday, and she's a huge Rock Band fan. So I decided to get her the Rock Band 3 and keyboard bundle. It retailed for, I think, $129. I could be off a little, but I think it was $129. For it, and at first I was quite pleased. The construction of the keyboard is really nice, very sturdy. I feel like it's nice hard plastic, like you're getting something out of it. It supports 3 AA batteries. I don't know if it's in frame, but I felt at the beginning like it was a good deal. One thing I was disappointed. I thought it should have like a little speaker, because you're pretty much getting a full functioning keyboard. Why not just create an off-on with the tiny little cheap, 2 speakers, and make it so you could just turn it on to use as a, its own little powered keyboard that runs off batteries with a little generic, synthesizer chip in it for the piano sounds. But whatever. It has the D-pad, the buttons, and all, so you can navigate the menus. One thing I noticed before I even started playing the game was there's no way to differentiate the keys once you're starting to playing. I mean, they have a color bar here at the top, you can see, and I don't think this will show up in the video, but there's a little ridge for each of the colors on for each of the sections. See, there's one here you can follow through, and there's another one here. But once you start playing, your fingers get lost. Anyway, we started playing it. We do Rock Band parties to where we all get together and we load up. Now, Rock Band 3 implemented the same 3 singer feature that the Beatles introduced. And I personally told all my friends when it came out, I was like, yeah, they're introducing it as a test market with the Beatles 3, and if it does well, they're going to put it in Rock Band 3. And I was right. They brought it in, and I was wondering how they would do it, because, you get 3 mics, 2 guitars, and a drum. You're already out of spaces, and that's before I even knew about the keyboard. Before I even get talking about the songs and everything like that, that's an issue. Personally, I don't care for how they have it set up. I don't think it was very well thought out. What they did was you can sync your you can sync your drums, your 2 guitars, and your piano to the system. Then what you do is you get a 3-port USB thing and plug it in to get your 3 mics. Because the 3 major instruments have connection to the system, your mics have nothing. They're pretty much kind of like karaoke mics. So when you're singing, you don't get scored. There's no scoring, there's no difficulty, easy, medium, hard, expert, nothing. You're just there, singing. And, they have 3 little funny icons for arrows. And then they have the blue bar for the lead, and then they have, and the next 2 colors I think were kind of dumb. They made like a brownish red and like an orange, and they're very similar. They really needed to do something like a bright white line, the blue line, and like a red line. It's just something where they're, they contrast very very well. But these just, the yellow, the brown, and the orange, we had numerous people get confused. Like, are you light brown, dark brown? They're just so similar in color, it became an issue at a few points. But that should have been, the colors of the mic should have been changed from Beatles. That was one thing I had issue with in the Beatles, and I thought they were going to fix it if they brought that feature over, which they didn't. But anyway, as I was saying, so what happens is you're just with the mic singing, and you're not really kind of like part of the experience, if it makes sense. We're like, all the other instruments get graded after every song. They get to pick their difficulty, and they get to be graded. So you actually have something to play for. You actually have a goal to get over a certain percentage, where the mics just, float around. So you feel like you're kind of out. So at the end of the song, everyone said, okay, let me see what I scored. Singers, you're off to the side, and you just fart around and talk amongst how well y'all sang together, but you can't see how well you sang. Personally, I think what they should have done was implemented a menu that the players could control to change settings, because the microphones now don't have a controller to do that. The other problem is that all 3 microphones default to play through the speakers. And you can't control the sensitivity. The two main control features you really need. Again, going back to my point, if they made a feature to where like any of the 3 or 4 instruments had the ability to go down and change mic settings, it wouldn't be so much of an issue, because you could tell like, hey drummer, go there and change the mic setting for mic number 2, lower it down. Because defaulting to where all the sound from the singers comes through the speakers, you get to a situation where like I'm a loud singer and have some of my friends that are kind of like loud singers. So when you're kind of belting it out singing, now you have an echo of effect from when you say it and it comes out of the speaker. To where we normally play, we shut off all mic sounds from the speaker. So you just hear the singer sing in the in the room, and you don't hear them come back out in the song. That works great, and having it where it defaults to where you hear yourself echo back is just not very well thought out. I think most people don't need to hear themselves bounce out of a sound system with a delay, and that was an issue. Everyone got really annoyed with that really fast. We also had a group of about 10 people at 2 different functions with this, so I'm not going off like half an hour review. I probably have 10 hours logged in the group multiplayer with 10 to 15 people playing at once. But that became an issue, how they did the instruments. The drop in and drop out feature that they advertised was, worked well. We could drop the guitar out, and then in mid-song, if we wanted to, bring them in. They just hit pause for a second. They hop into the song. It rewinds the track back a little bit, which is really nice, and then starts to play so everyone can see the notes coming down instead of having notes right there from when you pause. But the group dynamic changed in Rock Band 3. I thought, before where it was like, 4 people participating and everyone else kind of took their turn. Now with being able to play 7 people, that's a large group of people singing and interacting with a game. Which also means if people start wandering off, you could drop them, but, people get their feelings hurt, like, hey, you're breaking up the band, we got 7 people going at once. You're like, man, I just gotta go to the bathroom. I'll put the mic down. I'm not getting graded anyway. But, whatever. On to the songs. I personally think Rock Band 3 introduced some fantastic songs. I wish I had my list here. I was planning on doing a list, but I don't really do much prep before my videos. But it had like Centerfold. It had Bohemian Rhapsody, and I thought that was going to be on here when they released every great Queen song except Bohemian Rhapsody. And that just enforced the fact that, with the 3-part harmony from the Beatles, that would definitely be on there. And then, they had Crazy Train by Ozzy. Just, some great song. The problem I get with in Rock Band 3, and this is an issue that really is by most other people than me, one, there's no metal. I personally don't listen to much metal, so it really didn't bother me that there was no real heavy metal. I enjoy a couple songs here and there. And they have the song Du Hast, which isn't, I guess, many consider technically metal, but it's kind of heavy. So, some of us, it was like, well, they got Du Hast, but yeah, but there's no real heavy metal in it, and it's kind of annoying because I do have friends that really like it, and so we kind of share the genres of music, and they're like, "Where's the new heavy metal?" And we're like, "I don't know. It's all older music and then like new crap." And that was my other point. They either have really good older music in this game, which I personally like a lot. I like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then everything post-90s in this game blows ass. It just blows. It's just like garage bands that I've never heard of. I could say them, see them saying, well, like, look, we're just going to put a no-name song on here from a band that you might be familiar with from the radio. Like, nothing. Nothing. Just sucks. And so it's a very stark contrast of, like, you're like, half the songs, well, a little less than half the songs are pretty decent, that are good, and then the rest just you don't want to play. I could have just had this game with like 40 songs, because the other 40 suck royally. And what also sucks is, a few weeks leading up to it, they released all the metal for download that did not incorporate the keyboard. which is another issue I'll talk about here quickly. We wanted to play all the songs with keyboard, so we ended up, it had a good sorting feature, so we could sort by instrument. So we sorted it out to where only the keyboards were there. Well, if you sort out just Rock Band 3 songs and keyboard instruments, there's 62 out of the 84 that use 84 songs that came on it. So roughly 3/4 of the songs out of the 80-some songs use the new instruments features. Considering they're hyping this whole game up to be, you know, with the new instrument of the keyboard, you would think 100% of the songs they selected would have keyboard feature, but they don't. And so when you're going through trying to, you know, not break up the band and playing it with the keyboard, you're limited to 62 songs. Now, they did release a Doors pack, like, shortly after or right at release, that introduced, you know, 12 songs that were from the Doors that had keyboards. But if you're not a Doors fan, that doesn't mean much to you. Oh, that's another thing. They released a lot of music leading up to Rock Band 3. And again, your preference on style and bands or whatever, but none of it had keyboard feature. After they had already announced keyboard feature, you would think all the music leading up to Rock Band 3, after they made a public release, should have keyboard feature if the song had it. And so I'm sitting there listening to music, you know, that came out 2 weeks before the game came out, 3 weeks before the game came out. You can hear organ or keyboard or something in there, synthesizer, and they don't have keyboard feature. And I'm like, that's just lazy-ass programming. If you know this game comes out a year ahead of time, you damn well better have it programmed in. That's just slack. Unless they're planning on reselling us the same song with just a keyboard feature, which I won't buy any song over again that has keyboard feature. The keyboard's fun, it's hard as hell, but I'm already spending $2 a song. Right now I have 630 songs, so I have 300 some songs that I paid for. Just on the download market. That's not counting my Lego Rock Band, my country add-on pack, and all this other stuff. I think the keyboard feature is cool, but leading up to it and everything post that should definitely, if the song has a keyboard in it, it must have the keyboard used. And then they should start going back to older songs on the marketplace and definitely adding keyboard feature for free, and then tell people to re-download them if they've already purchased them, and not charge any extra. So to sum it up, Rock Band 3, overall, I don't feel like it's like a new game. I felt like from Rock Band 2 to 1 was worth it. I'm not real sure Rock Band 2 to 3 was worth it. Maybe not now at least. So if you're planning on getting it, unless you really like the songs on disc by themselves, or just don't even think about the keyboard, but you just like the songs, it would maybe be worth picking it up by itself. The keyboard right now, for 62 songs, really isn't worth it. They gave away, if you bought your game at GameStop, you got a pre-order code with 3 free songs. And then for the week it released, they gave 3 songs, which a couple of them do, like Light My Fire by the Doors. But, so there's a handful of keyboard songs, but again, for what you're getting, it's not really worth it right now. Overall, unless you're a really, really big Rock Band group, I wouldn't pick it up. We host a lot of Rock Band parties at my house. My wife, like I said, loves it, so we bought it and went ahead with it. And they also sell a keyboard stand that's metal, which is quality. I mean, it's built sturdy, so you feel like you get your money, but it's $30. And playing the keyboard on your lap really kind of sucks, too. And if you don't want to play on a coffee table because you're like hunched over. So you're almost forced to kind of, if you want a real experience, to play it in a stand, unless you want to put the little strap on and play like a keytar. And being the fact that if you're playing on pro mode and you're moving your hands up and down that thing, you will not play it like a keytar. You're just not. It's too hard. It's too hard to do on the stand, let alone if you have it hung from a strap from your shoulder. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Apologize for my time taking too long. And I'm going to probably record another video in the next day or so. I have a little time. So, again, thank you for watching. Keep gaming, and come back and see me. Oh, rate and subscribe, please. Thanks. Bye.